In this episode of Sailing Dark Angel, we move to Pipe Creek, where we ride out a storm that causes several boats to drag anchor and puts one on the beach. After the storm, I dive our anchor to double check our holding. Then we head out to the beach ourselves. Will the weather give us a much needed break? If you like our videos, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. It's free for you and really helps our channel. So what are we doing now, Captain Dave?
We are going back to Pipe Creek, I hope.
Woo!
All things go well. There's a lot of traffic here, there's not a lot of wind, and so that doesn't make Rachel's bubble bath much of an attraction. You need high tide and a good strong east wind.
Bye, Rachel's bubble bath. Sorry I didn't get to go and visit you. Too much traffic and craziness. Just not a good vibe, guys. Just not a good vibe. So we're headed toward Pipe Creek. This way.
We're looking for a place to drop the hook.
Yeah, I think somebody's taken our spot.
Somebody's in our spot.
Somebody's in our spot. So we're gonna find a place along here. And then when they move, maybe we'll just take our spot back. But yeah, we're coming up to our spot in Pipe Creek. And I gotta go throw down the anchor.
Over the next ridge. We're on the outside of this ridge.
Yeah.
There's an anchor spot here, but
okay. Well, then let's do it here. So we made it here, and we have a shark. We're at Pipe Creek, and we're anchored, but not in our usual spot, and we have a shark. And how big would you say the shark is? 3.5 feet?
Probably 3 feet.
Right there. Gee, right there. She's just hanging with us. Right off our sugar scoop.
Not in our favorite spot. We're out a little deeper. There's still no swing room though, because there's shoals on either side of us. So hopefully we'll be all right. But we've been watching this storm on radar, and it grew from being right up here to now it's coming down around this way, and it's getting really big. It was only a couple miles across. Now it's 10 probably. Well, no, it's 5 miles across at the widest point. It was only 2. And it's getting bigger. And there's another cell brewing down here that wasn't there earlier. We're over here. So it's starting to rain now and stuff's starting to come over. So it's time to bring in everything and get ready for a blow. Generator's gassed up. Hopefully our anchor holds and we'll be good.
So, what kind of shitstorm is happening now, Captain Dave?
Well, that is the appropriate term. We are in a squall that just built up, a big one. Started about...
valiant effort in the middle of the storm here at Manual, trying to figure out who's doing what to who. Anybody in charge?
There's a boat behind us. Guys, look at Dave. They're having major problems, man. I'm scared for them. I don't know, dude. That is so bad. They're moving, like they're like jumping.
Coming across the shoal. Hope they got clear.
Oh my god, okay. Don't come across the shoal, guys. Don't do it. They probably had to get off the bottom.
Probably.
Oh, man. Okay, so... But we seem to be holding well.
Radar, I mean, what do we got? Like 2 more minutes, or are we in this for a while?
How are we holding?
We're holding all right. Anchor's at the 90s. I've seen it at 110 feet, give or take.
Yeah.
We're holding really well. This storm, if this storm blows that way, we'll be okay.
West.
And it looks like it is. It's going to blow to the east, coming from the west. If it does that, it's going to blow off fairly soon.
Yeah, it looks like it is, based on that.
It does, but storms don't go in a straight line. They go this way. They grow. So that's our issue. I don't know where he's dropping that.
Oh my God, I hope he doesn't drop it there.
So their anchor must have dragged. Which would have put them on the bottom. It's
I don't
very
know.
shallow there, and it's not very good
I
holding.
don't know if you guys can see this boat. I know it's really dark out. Apologize for that, but he's moved a great distance from where he was before. Oh. And we're like looking at 30 knots consistently, up to 33 knots. And it's, yeah. It's
I
a
can't
lot.
see him on radar because I'm on weather.
Now you guys know that earlier we were over by Compass Cay, right in front of Rachel's bubble bath, and I am so thankful we moved, because otherwise we would have been on the bottom.
Yeah.
And I made the decision to move over here, and not only move over here, but in this spot. And I was the one who chose the sand to drop the anchor in. And if we had anchored where we wanted to, we would have been having the same problems as the boat that's right next to us. Because they got grass under us, we've got sand under us. So I feel very fortunate right now.
Yeah, I got struck at sea. We're trying to back and keep our way out of everything else that's still an anchor there. We got it.
Roger that. Just let me know you're safe. We're
Stay out of all these fucking pulling anchors.
He sounds like he's dragging.
Your anchor.
Come back.
Okay, I'm going to turn this off now.
Your anchor. Things are settling down here. We are a mess. We're separated between the galleon effort and the full attention.
On AIS, galleon efforts is shown on the beach, on Pirates or Cruiser Beach, whatever you want to call it. They're showing on the beach on AIS.
We have a boat calling Mayday.
I am right offside Cay Beach.
So there's a boat right where we were a couple days ago at Big Major's Key.
2-4-1-1.
He says his engines are done. He's going in. Done.
A catamaran apparently, or a boat, but I think it was a catamaran, drifted into him and hit him. And it's pushed him onto the beach. He's fried his engines,
Please, somebody
and
come back.
he's done.
Acknowledge assistance. We are on the rocks. We are in trouble. I think we were tied to another boat, and we are now in the rocks.
We're far away. There's only one other boat near us, and they had some major problems.
They
But-
came out into the channel here.
Yeah, where we normally would anchor, we'd probably have the same kind of issues being anchored in sand.
That's where we.
Or anchored in grass. Sorry, anchored in grass. Yeah.
That's where we rode out the last one.
Okay.
No, we were anchored in grass. Last time we were over there, we held, but we're not.
It was not a fun ride.
Yeah. But here we're in sand. I made damn sure we were in sand.
We
when
were
dropped in.
shallow when we were over there.
Yeah.
We cannot get off the boat safely at this point. We are on the rocks.
Got to bed at 2:30 this morning. So here's what happened with that storm in a nutshell. Nobody was in the nutshell, so we all crashed. Let's try that again. The storm looked like it was dying down around 1:30 this morning, and it had moved off southwest of us onto the sound, and it was looking pretty good. And I was getting ready to go to sleep, and I'm watching the storm radar, and I'm watching the storm redevelop and reorganize, and it did. It reorganized, it got strong again, but by the time it did, it was far enough off southwest of us that I felt fairly comfortable going to bed, not to mention I was tired. And we didn't have any more incidents. So I don't know what happened southwest, but again, it moved off onto the sound, so I think it left everybody alone. Synopsis of what went on in Big Major's Key is a whole bunch of boats dragged when that initial gust hit. So they rode out the storm, and eventually we heard on the radio a whole bunch of them re-anchoring. The one boat that got smacked into the reef was a Sea Ray L590, I believe. That's a lot of boat. And it got smacked into the rocks. They said they thought somebody hit them and was up alongside them, and maybe they were, I don't know. We're about 6-7 miles away behind a bunch of islands, and I have no idea what actually happened there. The boat right beside us, where we normally anchor, right where that boat is right there, that is where the trawler was or motor yacht. I apologize if I got it wrong. And they dragged over towards shore, and at the time they lifted the anchor, and it was quite the struggle. Apparently they came over this reef here, which is very shallow, but they appeared to have made it, and they came out into here, and then they worked their way down over this next reef, which is also shallow, but apparently they made it. If you pick the right spot, you can do it. It's just really hard to do on a dark, windy night, and then rainy and all that. And then they went south, and now I don't know where they went, but there's really nowhere to go when you get south, so they must be down around the corner somewhere anchored. They're not anywhere in here. Wild night, but we held. Lisa did an amazing job choosing where to drop the anchor, because there's patches of grass and patches of sand here. She dropped it in sand. We were very careful because it's rippy, and so she got it all figured out, and we're good. If I'm not mistaken, that's the tender for the boat that was there yesterday. You must be looking for something they dropped. Something must have fell in the ocean. All right, our neighbors from last night swung by to let us know that they're okay, so everything's good. The kids aren't traumatized. The boat did hit the bottom at one point. Hopefully it was like sand and grass and stuff, and apparently they're not damaged. They lost some top canvas, and everything else is good, so very happy to hear that.
So there's, the Cay goes like this and up over a huge grass knoll, and it's hooked around the grass knoll, and right at the top of the grass knoll is a huge, I think it's a grouper.
Do you want a spear? You could have grouper for dinner.
The anchor is buried, but it's at least 20 feet down. There's just, I'll try.
Don't pop your ears.
Nope, but I got close enough, like you can see it's like right dug in. We are going nowhere.
Awesome.
But if you give me the tickle stick, I might be able to get that fish. It's up like about another 10 feet up. Like that's how big the difference is.
Okay.
For real. It's gone.
No.
So,
Needle pulling thread.
what are we doing today, Captain Dave?
We're going exploring.
Exploring?
Yeah, we're gonna go look and see if there's any beaches over there we can play on. We're gonna see if there's any place we can explore and, you know, overland and, yeah.
Undersea.
Undersea.
Okay.
This is such a big, beautiful area. We're gonna see what we can find.
We're gonna bring our stuff. 2 bags this time.
Swings.
Our equipment.
It's a little windier than when we normally come out here, but we only have so much time in the sun. that shelf cloud is going to pass over us. And you probably can't see it, but our mast is right over there. Oh, sorry. Right over there. And we got imp anchored out so she doesn't take too much of a beating.
But she is dancing. Look at her dance.
She likes to dance. She also likes to escape, and she also likes to swamp. And we've got this little island here to have a look around. It's very hard to get in here, so you don't get a lot of the big tour boats. Like there's a dinghy over there, but that looks a little big for coming in here. Lots of lizard trails. This is a lizardy place. More chicken tracks. And I'm gonna need shoes to get past this part. Let's see what kind of view we got from up here. So what looks like a tiny little island actually extends a little bit over. There's the bank over there. Up here. There's the sound. There's a blonde on the beach. And the winds are picking up. We might have to run back to the boat. The hatches are closed but vented, which means they're not quite closed and sealed. So if we get hard rain, we're gonna get a lot of water in the salon. And the port lights are open, which means you're gonna get a lot of rain in the hulls. And that's not okay. I think she closed the bed. I think she closed the bed one. Just trying to make my way through here without disturbing all the vines and shit. This is how fast a storm can form here. There was nothing on radar when we left. And now this big shelf is coming right at us. Oh well, enjoy what we can.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is nice. She's dragging. Come back out here. I wanted it just off the beach. Without swamping, you know?
Yeah. There we go.
Now, if we were to anchor that on the beach or drag her up nose first onto the beach, that water coming over the transom, she'd be swamped in no time.
Yep.
Let's face it, everything I've learned about anchoring the dinghy and about running the boat and everything else is all trial and error. Mostly error.
Yeah.
I haven't seen trial yet.
Actually, how many times have we swamped? Once, I know for sure.
Cat Island.
That was once.
And twice from having the plug out when we dropped it.
Well, that's different. That's different. So I'd say once. Once.
And that was on a mooring ball.
Yeah.
We put it on their mooring ball.
Yeah.
And the tide went out. And she hit the bottom. The tide went out. The dinghy hit bottom, turned sideways, and
that was it.
Swamp. That's what's worked for me so far, is to have the tail just on the beach. But you do have to keep an eye on it. I would not leave it like that, because if you leave it like that, it's got a really good chance of swamping. It's going to drag the anchor enough that the boat will turn sideways.
Oh, okay. Hang on there, Imp. We're just having a good time out here, buddy. I don't know, maybe it's moving off that way. Look, it's going that way.
Seems to be moving
That's
west.
good. That's good.
10 feet of chain, nice sandy bottom, and I've hauled that anchor out 3 times and reset it, and it just keeps dragging in. So we're going to go to a lee shore. I think there's one over there. Time to go. Pack her up.